I'm here to talk about printing parts of your worksheet. We have this file here. If I go to print, it's showing all this stuff here, and it's pretty darned ugly, okay? So what we're going to do, we got a few things, actually a lot of things to do, okay? It's pretty quick. What we're going to do, if I want to just print out this one page, I could highlight this range. And I go into Control P, and I could just click on where it says Active Sheets. I say Selection. It looks pretty darned ugly. I go to Page Setup. I go into Sheet, or I should say Page. Make it Landscape. Make it fit the page. So we have that there's a footer down here from, let's say, Consolidated Messenger, whatever the company is, where they're selling stuff every day of the month. So that way you don't have it. One thing I will say, you don't want to have all 12 months of the year in here. You just want, I would say, do it on separate sheets. It's much, much better, okay? That's another issue. Next thing I want to talk about, you could just print out a little selection like this. If I just need, let's say, it's for January, let's say I want to see that. I go into print here, and it's showing the selection here. That's great. Now, I want to print out the whole worksheet, okay? There's a couple of ways of doing this. I could go into here. I could put in a page break. I go into page layout, breaks, insert page break. I work with Excel 2016. Sometimes it shows a dotted line, sometimes it doesn't. So when I go into the printing now, I have to leave print selection and say entire workbook. And it's showing January, it's showing February. I want to show a couple of other things here. Let's say I want to put in, I might have the company name here. I'm just going to type it in here. And what it is here, I'm just going to do a quick format here. Merge and center. I'll make it red, make it large. Okay. Now, if you're going to print this out, a lot of people copy this, paste this down below on every page here. I want to show you a couple of easy, simple tricks here. I want this to show up at the top of every page. This is a header row. What you saw before was a footer. Different concept here. I'm going to go into page layout. I'm going to click inside here. I'm going to click on sheet, not header, footer. Titles. This is a title row. Rows repeat at top here. And if you have something that's really long, you could have like a name of a people and like 822 things that they do for the company. You can have the name there. That way, if it goes to 42 sheets, you'll always know what Dave is doing or his salary, whatever. It's got that in here. I say print preview. It's showing it there. It's showing it here. Okay. This is a graphic logo here. If I don't want this showing up in the footer now, I click on page setup. I click on header footer. I go into custom footer. This is actually a graphic. I'm just going to delete it. Say OK. I'm going to say OK again. It's cleaned up. However, let's say you had several rows up there. You cannot adjust certain things in the page setup when you're in print preview. I'm going to click on sheet. Do you see how the row here is grayed out, the print area here? If you have to change things, you have to close out of this, go into page layout. You can add a couple of other things here if you want to, like grid lines, row and column headings. I say OK. It shows up there. It looks industrial, but sometimes people want that information in there. And that is a lot of the plain old basics of working with printing a certain part of a worksheet. One last thing I will show you. If you are highlighting a range and you just want to print that out, okay? Like I want to go here. I can click here. We all know how to highlight. but a little trick here. I click on the first one here, and then I go down to here. I put my finger on the shift key. I click in the lower right hand corner. That is highlighting. I can also name the range. I click inside the cell address up here. I can name each month of the year if I have this all in one sheet here. Now if I go into print, if I want to just print out that one range here, I click on, and I'm going to do a deliberate mistake here. I'm going to say print selection. That's not what I want. I'm going to go into page setup, sheet. I want to put it in February. I can't do that. So I close out of this. I'm on the page layout tab, and then I go into sheet. I can go into here. I want to keep the row at the top here. I type in February. And I say print preview. Still not working. It says selection. I have to say print active sheets. A little tricky there. You'll figure it out as you go along with some trial and error and practice. Good luck.